Hello, my friend. Welcome to a new journey of learning, where every sound becomes a step forward, every word becomes a spark of confidence, and every sentence becomes a small victory. Today, the path to fluency opens gently before you, inviting your tongue to move with freedom, your mind to grow with clarity, and your voice to rise with strength. This is your moment to feel the rhythm of English, to breathe it in, and to let your daily routine transform your speaking power. A quiet morning begins with a soft breath of air, and in that calm space, English waits like a gentle rhythm. The sounds of the language rest on the edge of the tongue, ready to wake, ready to rise. Nothing speaks yet, but everything is preparing. The world feels still, but inside that stillness, a silent force is gathering strength. A routine is waiting to be born, a routine that can shape fluency the same way waves shape the shore. Every language has a pulse, and English carries a pulse that beats through its words, its sounds, its patterns, and its music. When the day begins, the pulse is slow and quiet. But with every breath, it grows warmer. With every whisper, it grows clearer. And with every repeated sound, the tongue begins to stretch, to adapt, to become flexible, alive, active. Fluency is not fire that suddenly appears. Fluency is a spark that becomes a flame through repetition. As the morning light spreads across the sky, the mind opens like a window. New words gather at the edge of thought, waiting like visitors at a door. Some are familiar, soft, and friendly. Others feel sharp, tricky, or heavy. But each one carries power. When spoken aloud, even gently, each word strengthens the muscles of the mouth, sharpens the rhythm of speech, and trains the tongue to move with confidence. A daily English-speaking routine does not begin with perfect sentences. It begins with sound. Simple sound. A single word spoken with intention. A phrase whispered with courage. A sentence repeated until the tongue can glide smoothly without hesitation. This routine becomes a quiet companion that returns every morning, every afternoon, every evening, whenever the mind reaches for growth. As the day continues, English transforms from a distant idea into a living presence. The vowels start to dance with clarity. A, E, I, O, U, moving like waves rolling gently onto a shore. The consonants sharpen like clean edges. T, P, K, S, each one shaping the breath with precision. Together, they create a rhythm that guides the flow of speech. The tongue learns this rhythm slowly at first, but with repetition, the movement becomes natural, smooth, and confident. The mind begins to recognize patterns. Sounds blend into words. Words stretch into phrases. Phrases grow into expressive sentences. This growth is not rushed. It follows the honest pace of practice. And practice builds control, not only of the mouth and tongue, but also of emotion. With every spoken word, confidence expands like light spreading across an open field. Throughout the day, English becomes a companion that whispers through simple routines. While walking, the rhythm of steps becomes a beat for new sentences. While working, thoughts turn into practice lines, spoken softly or repeated silently. While resting, the mind reviews sounds learned earlier. This continuous interaction builds a strong connection between the language and daily life. Fluency no longer feels distant. It begins to feel familiar, almost comforting. Evening arrives gently, wrapping the day in a calm embrace. This quiet time becomes a perfect moment to review. The tongue, now warmed by practice, moves more easily. Words that once felt heavy now glide lightly. Mistakes still appear, but they no longer create fear. They simply guide the next step. They shape the next improvement. They become teachers, not enemies. A daily routine, repeated with love, begins to shape the voice. Every sound becomes clearer. Every breath becomes purposeful. Every pause becomes confident. The tongue, once stiff and unsure, becomes flexible and expressive. English flows through it like water through a practice channel, smooth, steady, and strong. Night spreads across the sky, and the mind rests again. But inside that rest, something incredible happens. The brain begins to store the sounds practiced earlier. The patterns settle. The rhythm deepens. The language becomes part of memory, part of instinct, part of identity. This natural process strengthens fluency without effort. It works quietly, silently, powerfully. When the next morning arrives, the routine begins again. And with each new day, the progress grows stronger. The tongue remembers more. The mind opens wider. The voice rises clearer. Confidence expands with every sentence spoken. English becomes not just a language to learn, but a rhythm to live with. A daily English speaking routine turns the ordinary moments of life into opportunities for growth. Every morning, breath becomes a warm-up. Every step becomes a beat. Every quiet moment becomes a practice session. This gentle repetition trains the tongue to move easily, naturally, and confidently. Fluency does not demand perfection. Fluency demands consistency. It grows in the space between effort and patience. It rises through daily repetition. It blossoms like a seed watered every day, slowly, gently, beautifully. And when this routine becomes a habit, English begins to shine. The voice becomes steady. The words become expressive. The sentences become clear. The language becomes alive. Your tongue learns what you repeat. Your fluency grows where your effort lives. And your English strengthens each time you choose to practice, even for a few minutes. This is how fluency rises dash dash. Not from talent, not from luck, but from a quiet routine that trains the tongue day after day until confidence becomes natural and English becomes a flowing, living part of everyday life.